I'm 60 Second Spidey, and I'm recapping mainline Spider-Man comics in timeline order. Here's part 17. Morbius' ex-fiancée contacts the Fantastic Four asking for help, so Torch recruits Spidey to look further into Morbius' whereabouts and finds him feeding on a citizen. Torch and Spidey fight Morbius, but a crowd of people think they are attacking an innocent man, so they intervene long enough for Morbius to escape into the night. The living vampire Morbius is stalking New York City and decides to get revenge on Spider-Man, so he kidnaps Glory Grant from the Bugle as bait. Spidey takes Morbius on and is able to fight him off long enough to rescue his friend Glory, but when it looks like Morbius is about to flee, he is possessed by a voice in his head called the Empathoid. While fighting Spidey, Morbius was possessed by a creature that feeds on emotions called the Empathoid, but after Spidey punches it out of him, it possesses Spider-Man instead. Wanting revenge, Morbius takes on the Empathoid within Spidey, distracting it long enough for Peter to bring their fight to a professional football game where the Empathoid is overwhelmed by the strong fan emotions in the crowd and overdoses. Richard Rider, aka Nova, goes to visit his uncle and learns that he was assassinated by a mysterious figure named Photon while meeting with a college student named Peter Parker. Swapping to Spidey, Peter helps Nova try to solve the mystery, but they are attacked by Photon once again, who somehow escapes within the house. But when the police investigator declares the 4 people in the house are his suspects, they flee when the lights go out. Spider-Man and Nova are still solving the mystery of Nova's uncle's assassination, but 3 of the 4 suspects have fled. Nova and Spidey track the 3 of them down, hiding out in an AIM base. But before they can apprehend them, the assassin Photon appears again and tries to drown them both. But they are able to escape and head back to the scene of the crime and finally unmask Photon as one of the suspects, Jason Dean. Minority students are protesting Peter's college shutting down their night school program, motivating one of the students to become the White Tiger and seemingly steal the school's valuable manuscripts to sell. Peter learns the White Tiger is a student named Hector who's powered by a magical amulet, then tracks him down, finding him in a fight with one of their college professors. Spider-Man interrupts White Tiger, who is threatening an ESU professor, and chases him off. The college's minority students continue their protest against the shutdown of their night school program as Spidey fights White Tiger for stealing the school's valuable manuscript, but learns the professor was the one who stole it, pretending to be White Tiger. With the manuscript back, tensions settle and the school decides to work with the student protesters, not fight them. Peter and MJ are walking when a truck speeds towards them, but a citizen jumps into the car to save them but is badly hurt and sprayed with chemicals the truck was carrying. Spidey goes out to rush the antidote to the hospital and finds out the transport was robbed by the Inhuman Medusa. He fights her across Coney Island before realizing her friend also needed the vial to survive, so they set aside their differences and get the rest of the antidote to the hospital just in time. Needing money after bailing Aunt May out of jail for protesting, Peter gets a job with MJ as extras in a movie called Spawn of the Spider, but ends up hired as Spider-Man after saving an actor from an accident the costume designer caused. A group using the costume designer's costumes called the Spider Squad attack the set, but are chased off by Peter. He tracks them down and, despite the exoskeletons giving them super strength, defeats them, and learns that it was actually the producer framing the costume designer. Plot twist. Peter and MJ decide to hang out at their favorite place, the Coffee Bean, when it's of course attacked. The guitar player throws a guitar at the attacker's head, but is taken hostage. Spidey follows and learns the guitarist was in on the plot, so he dismantles their car with ease, then returns to MJ, who won't listen to his latest excuse for disappearing. Spidey is chasing the new villain Rocket Racer on his skateboard, but yanks the board out from under him and webs him up for the cops. Harry Osborn asks Peter to be the best man at his wedding, but his fiancée Liz Allen ends up in jail for attempted robbery, which Peter learns she was forced to do by her stepbrother Mark Raxton, the Molten Man. The two battle once again, but Molten Man traps Spidey and flees, framing him for his latest robbery. After being framed by Molten Man for a robbery, Spidey flees from the police and a random doctor who knows Kung Fu. Molten Man forces a scientist to make a cure for him, but it unfortunately doesn't work, sending him into a rage. Molten Man's stepsister Liz Allen tries to talk him down, but Spidey is forced to intervene to save her before Molten Man fatally explodes from his out-of-control powers. Thanks for watching part 17 of my Spider-Man timeline recap. Like, follow, and subscribe as I post daily shorts and long-form compilations.